Hello BookTube, Sarah here and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with my April 2019 anticipated reads. I do love doing these videos every month. I love looking through my lists on Amazon to see what great books are coming out in the next month, and I love sharing them with you guys. So I am going to state this will probably be the only extra video that you guys see from me this week. I had planned originally to do like a Tuesday video, a Thursday video, and then another Friday video for March Mystery Madness. But unfortunately, I haven't been feeling that well, and I've been dealing with some personal things with my dad and stuff like that. If you watch my last vlog, you probably know. So, you know, I've been extra tired, extra worried. Everything's okay, but yeah, so like I said, I had planned on that, but it's not going to happen. So I do assure you, you are actually going to get an extra video from me next week. So next week I will have a Tuesday video, a Thursday video, and a Friday video. And probably an extra one maybe I'll just do like Monday, Tuesday, and then Thursday, Friday, or something like that. So I do plan on doing a lot of filming this weekend. I do have the time to do it, so I'm looking forward to it. I have all my notes and stuff. I just have to sit down and do it. And yeah, so anyway, here's the one video for this week. And like I said, my anticipated reads for April. So as I always do these, in case you're new to my channel, is I love looking at the coming soon for the Kindle. And I go on there all the time and I look to see what books are coming out. I look across all genres. Mostly though, it tends to, you know, gear towards romance. And I add all these books to wish lists on Amazon, all labeled with the different months that they're being released. And then when it's time for me to do these videos, I sit down and I go through those lists and I pick like my top 5 of the ones I'm most excited about that I want to share with you guys. So these of course are going to be in order of release date. So let's jump right in and get started. So our first book comes out on April 9th, and it is Meetcute by Helena Hunting. This book looks so adorable. As soon as I saw it come up as I was scrolling through on the Kindle or on Amazon, I went, oh, that is like the perfect spring-summer book cover. Is it not? It's adorable. So this story is about a woman who has this crush on this celebrity, you know, this actor when she's younger. And then on her first day of law school, she literally runs into him. And the two of them, I guess, are in the same class together. So they kind of form a friendship, but then I guess they kind of have a falling out. And 8 years later, so 8 years pass, and now she's working at a law firm. And he shows up at her law firm, and he needs her help, essentially with a case that he's, with a personal case, like something that he needs to hire her as a lawyer. So the story then goes from there. It sounds really cute. I did look on Goodreads and I didn't hear good or like nobody was like saying this was an amazing book, but it does look like a lot of fun. And again, that cover just screams spring and summer to me, and I think it's going to be a really fun read. Next up, coming out on April 16th, is The Claiming of the Shrew by Shana Galen. This is book number 5 in the Survivor series. I have to admit, the cover jumped out on me for this one, and so did the title. The Taming of the Shrew is the only Shakespeare play I've ever actually read through. I can't remember if we read through Romeo and Juliet, but I know I read Taming of the Shrew. That's the one that we studied in high school. And I've always kind of had a special affinity to it because of that reason. And when I saw this title, I thought it sounded adorable. So this is the story about a man and a woman. His name is, he's a Lieutenant Colonel, Benedict, and she is from Portugal. So she is Portuguese. And I guess he was serving in the military and in the war in Portugal at this time. And he saved her from a pretty horrible fate by, you know, she was supposed to marry some man who was extremely abusive towards her. Her own family was extremely abusive towards her. So he married her to save her. But he hasn't seen her in 5 years because after the war, he came back to London and she stayed in Portugal and she became quite a well-known lace maker. And now her circumstances has changed and she kind of needs to be saved in a way again. So she comes to London and tracks him down and asks for an annulment, but he denies her. So the story then goes from there. Sounds really interesting, like a very, very interesting premise, and it's one I'm really excited about. Shana Galen is an author that I read for the first time in 2018, and I really, really liked her historical, like I really enjoyed her novel. This is the 5th in the series, but I do have a feeling that this is more of a companion series as opposed to a, you know, you're meeting the same characters in every book kind of an idea. So, excuse me. I am excited about picking this one up, and I do think I might have to pre-order this one. Next up, coming out on April 23rd, is Unbroken Cowboy by Maisey Yates. This is the 5th book in the Gold Valley series. I love this series so much, and when I came across this book and that it was coming out, I got super excited because I follow Maisey Yates on Twitter, and she had kind of hinted towards this one like a year ago. B is our main female in this book, Beatrix, and she is a lover of animals. Like, she is the kind of person who she sees, you know, an injured squirrel or an injured bird or an injured cat, and she takes them in and, you know, she fixes them up. She wants to start an animal sanctuary. And the author actually hinted, like I said last year at this one, that this story was going to involve a raccoon that she rescues. And I'm like, I am all about that. But anyway, this is the story of B and Dean. Now, Dean grew up in a trailer park, and he then became a very famous bull rider. He has now been injured, and he's kind of back home in Gold Valley, and he's like tending to his wounds, and he's got, you know, at least a couple months of recovery before he can go back on the circuit. So B, who's an old family friend of his, says, you know, why don't you come and help me at my, you know, getting this animal sanctuary started back up again? And, you know, it'll kind of give you something to do. So then I guess a relationship forms between the two of them. It sounds adorable. And again, if I needed to say it again, it's got a rescued raccoon. So, you know, again, I am all about that. This one does sound adorable. I love the Gold Valley series. I have read up until this point, so I'm super excited about picking this one up later this year, or hopefully sooner rather than later, and reading it. Coming out on April 30th is A Prince on Paper by Alyssa Cole. This is the 3rd book in the Reluctant Royals series, and I am super excited about this one. I am looking forward to reading all of these books. I think I own one of them. I think I own book number 1 as an ebook, but I haven't gotten to it yet. But every time a new one comes out, I get super excited. I absolutely love Alyssa Cole's historical fiction writing with the Extraordinary Union series, but this is definitely a series that I need to start checking out because I know everybody loves it. So I just want to read the little back piece of it to you, like just this little part. And it says, the Reluctant Royals series returns with a good girl searching for the life that's not too big and not too small, and the bad boy prince who might just be right for her. So it says that she fled for the glitz and glam of New York City from the small, I guess, country that she's from. And she has discovered that her Prince Charming only exists in these online virtual video games. And, you know, that this bad boy prince that's on paper is not all that he's cracked up to be. And she goes home for a royal wedding, and she meets the step prince, or the redheaded step prince. And he, you know, is kind of a media darling in a way. He's a bad boy. He's always in the public spotlight and blah, blah, blah. I do think it's kind of funny that I guess maybe it's because of Prince Harry that I've noticed, I think it was also in Emma Chase's series, that the younger brother was a redhead as well, and now him. And I can't help but think of Prince Harry when I think of that. But anyway, that's besides the point. So the two of them are back in town for this wedding, and they end up in bed together, and the story goes from there. So it sounds really good. It's Alyssa Cole. Her writing is fantastic, and I really need to jump on this series and start reading it. Also coming out on April 30th is the last book I want to share with you guys, and it is called The View from Alameda Island by Robyn Carr. This is a standalone novel, and this one jumped out at me, like I saw this one like probably last summer. So it has been on my anticipated reads list for a long time. This one sounds really good because it is not your atypical romance novel where it's about, you know, two 20-somethings or two 30-something-year-olds. This is about a more mature couple. And the story is about a woman named Lauren who has what a lot of people would consider to be the perfect life. She is married to a surgeon. She has 2 beautiful daughters. You know, she lives in a lovely home. But after 24 years of marriage, she decides to file for divorce. And that is because privately her husband has been mistreating her. It doesn't say exactly how, but he has been mistreating her. So she kind of walks away from that life. And then during this process, she meets a kindred spirit, a man who is kind of dealing with something very similar, and he's debating on whether or not to walk away from his own marriage. And then her husband, or her now ex-husband, decides that he wants this perfect life back, and he's going to go to very extreme measures to get it back. So it just sounds really interesting, and like I said, not your atypical, you know, a couple falling in love, you know, in their 20s or 30s, but something about a more mature couple, and I'm very, very interested in this one. Robyn Carr can really write some fantastic topics, and this one is outside of the norm of what you would consider to be a romance novel. I would consider this to be, even though I dislike the term, a more women's fiction type novel as opposed to a contemporary romance, and I am very, very excited about reading it. So anyway, guys, that is all I have for you today. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments below if any of these books sound any good to you, or are there any books that I don't have on this list that you guys are really looking forward to coming out in April, because I would love to know. And until my next video, guys, take care and happy reading. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, everybody.